there, welcome. We've got Rachel Lambert here with us today from CWT Travel here in Lloydminster. Welcome, Rachel.
Hi, thank you.
Thanks for coming. My family uses CWT Travel and Rachel specifically for all of our travel needs, near and far. And so I thought I'd take an opportunity through my Think Local campaign to feature her business and all of the wonderful things that it can bring and the ease that using a travel agent can bring to your vacation. I know she's made lots of last minute changes for us and really helped us through some otherwise kind of sticky situations. So I certainly love using a travel agent for sure. So Rachel, you've been in the travel industry for years. Can you give us a little glimpse into your love for travel and the industry in general?
Yeah, for sure. So my love of travel started growing up. My parents liked to take us on crazy road trips. So the furthest we ever did was we drove from Alberta to Costa Rica and lived in a camper van. And just having those experiences as a kid led me to eventually take the travel and tourism program at Grant MacEwan.
Okay.
I got into the industry in Edmonton, heavily in the adventure travel sector. When we moved to Lloydminster, sorry about that, I forgot to mute my phone. When we moved to Lloydminster, I started working at Carlson Vaughanley Travel with Jerry Duhame. And then in the fall of 2018, he afforded me the opportunity to purchase the office. So I've been in the industry for a long time. Every time I think about leaving it, it draws me back. I love it. I think it's important to help people experience the world. The more of the world you see, the more you realize people everywhere are, no matter how different we are, we're all the same. And it's a big, beautiful planet. And I think we should see as much of it as we can.
I know you've told me many times before how you love the adventure travel, and I love hearing about all of your experiences. I know before COVID, I was certainly I had the travel bug, and I know in my daughter's first year of her life, we didn't really stop life because it was our first child, and we just drug her along to all of our different travels for conferences and for adventure and to visit grandparents and extended family and that sort of thing. And so I certainly I know for me, I have that travel bug as well, but your adventure travels just sounds so interesting. I just love it.
I love going, crazy off the beaten track places. And don't get me wrong, a week somewhere warm and sunny to relax is awesome as well. But I do love the sip wine and a little plaza in a tiny little town in Italy too. So I like both.
Yeah. And there's something for everyone when there's travel involved.
My job is to figure out what would be the ideal travel experience for my client and to help create that for them. So
yeah, for sure. Now I mentioned COVID and our pandemic right now. So what advice would you have for people as they're looking to book their own holidays, vacations during the pandemic?
Number one thing about traveling during COVID is flexibility. Make sure if you are booking something, there's cancellation options, change options. Most suppliers have adapted excellently to the way the market has changed with the pandemic. So number one rule is flexibility. Make sure you know the rules for where you're going before you go. And once you've decided you're going to go, even once you've looked up the rules, continue to check them because things change as we've seen quickly and on the spot. An announcement today can change what's going to be the rules tomorrow. So that would be my key pointers if you're planning to do any kind of traveling during COVID, is making sure you have flexibility, you know the rules, and you keep checking up to make sure you stay up to date.
Yeah, for sure. Now, what would you say as far as, the world now of being able to book things online and book things yourself? Obviously you provide a valuable service. What would you say as far as, if someone's considering booking on their own versus using a travel agent and they're not sure which one they should do? What would you say is to the benefit of your services as a travel agency?
We're here to help. We're here to help and advocate on the behalf of the client. The internet can be a very overwhelming place. It's hard to find the information that you need. It's hard to find the exact information that you're looking for. And that's what we do. We spend our days training, staying up to date with suppliers, knowing the newest protocols and safety measures, or even the newest products and what the offerings are out there. So what can take you hours to figure out or muddle through or figure out online, we can tell you in seconds, because it's what we do all day. And then when things have to change, we know the rules. And, it's always nice to have somebody who will sit on hold with an airline for you for 2.5 hours instead of having to do it yourself. So it's just someone in your corner, someone helping you, someone thinking of things maybe you didn't think of, or knowing little tips and tricks that you didn't know, because it's what we do all day, every day.
And even as the reason that I use a travel agent, I mean, there's lots of different reasons. But the one thing I really appreciate is when things come up at the last second. You're standing in the airport and there needs to be some change made, or there's some last minute cancellation and you need to be rebooked or something. That's, to me, as a traveler, where I find it most valuable. Now, of course, there's lots of valuable things, but that, to me, is what I certainly appreciate about using a travel agent.
Yes, for sure.
Then,
and
your vacation doesn't get ruined because all of a sudden you're trying to plan at the last minute and you're not sure which direction to go. And as you describe, when you're doing it yourself, you're the one that has to figure out all those last minute changes, and the internet can be overwhelming, and now you don't even have time to search through the various things to know what to do before your travel is supposed to start.
Yeah, we've had instances where we've had schedule change or delays, and we know that client that's going to land in Toronto in 3 hours is not going to make that connection. And we've had a hotel with a shuttle booked and confirmed for them, and re-protected on a flight first thing the next morning before they even land, and they know that they're going to miss their flight, and that needs to be done for them. It's taken care of. We update them, let them know, email them their new documents, and then they don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, you land, and by the time you land and you turn on your cell phone out of airplane mode, you've already got everything already booked, and you foresaw what was going to happen for that particular client and took care of them ahead of time. That's completely invaluable to a traveler. So much devastation, obviously, in your industry these days, given the pandemic. And I don't mean to harp on the bad stuff, the pandemic nature of COVID, but it really has devastated so many industries, but the travel industry in particular. And of course, on the client side is the people who want to go on vacations and they haven't been able to, and they have to stay home. I know that you do more than just vacations. So let's hear about some of the other services that you offer other than just, the fun in the sun and, the European getaway.
We can definitely help with domestic travel. So when, leaving Canada is not an option right now, if you want to head to the mountains and go to Jasper or a weekend in Vancouver, that was things we can help with. Sadly, going into round 2 of lockdown, even that's becoming limited. So just to let clients know that our job is to help people get away. And right now your job is to stay home, which makes it hard for us for sure. And many other parts of our travel industry, airlines, hotels, car rental companies. So how the industry's really adapted is normally inventory is open for bookings a year, maybe a year and a half in the future. But there's some companies right now that have inventory open as far as 2023. So you don't have to wait until COVID's over to think about traveling. You can think about traveling now.
Oh, I think we all think about traveling now.
Yeah, there's lots of benefits to clients, to travelers, to maybe lock something in place right now. Demand is down, prices are amazing. Flexibility, change cancellation policies are the most relaxed they've ever been since I've been in the industry. Yeah. So, if you're going to travel when COVID's over, now's the time to throw a deposit on that dream cruise for 2022, or, that overwater bungalow in Tahiti that you said someday I'm going to make it there. A small deposit, you can change it if you need to, and you're locking in amazing rates, because who knows what's going to happen with prices and availability and inventory once the world does open back up. Yeah, so I think our good news story is that we do have access to product and suppliers and things that we can help our clients with. Not for travel now, unfortunately, but definitely to dream and think about what are we going to do next fall or in 2022, or that big anniversary coming up a couple of years down the road. That's something you can start looking at and planning now.
And, I know the power of mindset is so important. And I talk about that a lot in my day job. And for people to have that vacation booked, even if it's not now, they can start thinking about it and dreaming about it. And if you've got a deposit on it, if the deposit isn't that financially onerous, you can, you really have the power of knowing that this is, that you have something to look forward to, even if it is 2 years down the road. It's still, it doesn't matter. It's better than not having anything to look forward to. So.
Right. And again, the beauty of COVID, that small financial deposit, you're not going to lose it. You can change it. You can move it. You can slide it forward. You can have it as a credit. The terms and conditions have never been this flexible with travel companies. And I think it's a good thing for the industry. So I think clients should take advantage of that for sure.
And hopefully that stays, so many industries, life as we knew it pre-COVID has changed. And really, I don't know if it will go back. There's so many positive changes that have happened as far as accessibility and, as you say, cancellation periods and the relaxation of things so that people will be able to book, because otherwise, you couldn't book something if you knew that, if there isn't the restrictions lifted in 6 months, I'm going to lose all of this money. I mean, it had to adapt, and it did adapt. Yeah. And that's a benefit for vacationers, for us.
Definitely.
Want to have that something to look forward to.
I think we're all excited to see how clean cruise ships are going to be after COVID.
Oh my goodness. Isn't that true? Isn't that true? So there's so much initiative for our community to come together. There's Think Lloyd First. I've got my Think Local campaign. There's the Ambassador Program. What does it mean to you to be part of this community as a business owner, as well as a member of the community?
Well, first off, just the shift in the mindset of how the communities really come together during COVID to think of their local businesses and their fellow residents who run local businesses, and the outpouring of support and compassion that's come from this community for local business owners is amazing. And I've lived in Lloydminster longer than I've ever lived in any one city. And I'm so honored to call this place my home. And I'm so happy I get to raise my family here. And owning a business in this community is an honor as well. And I've just been astounded how the businesses give to the community, and how in this time of need for businesses, the community's really stepped up and looked after their local businesses.
Yeah, that's great. And you said that you've been at CWT Travel since 2011, and so owned it since 2018, but been here since 2011 at the business. And you were telling me earlier that it's been in business for 46 years. So
yeah, opened in Lloyd Mall in 1974, I believe Jerry told me. So
yeah, so it's just neat to see how the longevity of your business, and the fact that you've been a staple in our community. You as someone who works there, and now the owner of it, but and the business itself has been a staple in our community for so many years. And so it's so nice to see that we've got such a kind and welcoming presence in our community, as far as and as far as the local business being able to continue. That's just really a good news story for our community. So keep up the great work, and I'm really glad that we can bring a feature to your business and remind people to think local, shop local, and support our local businesses. So thanks so much for joining us, Rachel.
Thanks for having me. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye.
Bye.